So my first question, and this is pretty much on men-women issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's your thoughts on males in the church? In what ways have they done a good job lately?
In the
Local church. Yeah. Right. Local church.
I'm like, yeah.
Because I don't think we have such a bad idea of men or male leadership, men and serving. It's not like all men are walking around saying to the women, shut up, be quiet, sit down, go home.
Yeah.
Right? Is that across the board? All men are like that in church?
No, we can't ever make blanket statements.
Not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it depends on the church, for sure.
Okay.
I
And
will
so
say-
in what ways have you seen a good job then, I could say?
I'm seeing more male evangelists.
Mm.
And maybe I'm just comparing from even where I came from living in Connecticut, but a lot of the women were the one who were really just out there or wanting to start these big, events outside. But I'm seeing a lot more men leading, that. I'm also seeing a lot of men gathering together and not being afraid to gather together. Women will get up quickly, but I am seeing more men actually gather together, and it's okay to do that. And I think that's important. That's part of discipleship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if y'all had anything to add to
I
that.
think we were just.
I do have.
Oh, there you go.
Since I've been attending Christ Alone, I gotta say it has been such, the guys there are so great. It's been such a balm to my soul because they're all serious about their faith.
Amen.
They were no, because I don't want to be trashing on people, but I wasn't always surrounded. I wasn't always surrounded by Christian guys who were Christian guys when no one was looking.
Come on.
Christian guys who are you go into church and you're one way, and then they're out of it at school or whatever, and they're not. So just being around guys who are consistent in their faith and who I know aren't two-faced, it's been really good. So shout out to all of you guys. You know who you are.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I think we said it that it varies church to church. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. So in what ways do you think that men need to step up? Because we were kind of talking about this last week with the men. And I said I was going to ask the ladies. In what ways do you think in 2019 in a church setting, do you think that men maybe need to step up or even just step out a little bit? Because you mentioned men stepping out and actually doing more evangelical work, right? Going out, the outreaches and preaching. And which ways do you think that we happen to see that in churches where men, you desire more to see a man doing more of this or more of that? Or is that you just see men on point in all the churches?
Again, we can't blanket that. Yeah.
I think it's an individual basis. We really can't make blanket statements.
Right.
I mean, an individual, if we want to talk about a particular person, it's I'd love to see that person use his gifts differently. I know so-and-so's withholding that gift from the local church. Or, this person's been really quiet and I know they got some great things to share. Or this person hasn't been discipling. I'd love to see him walk with somebody. He's got, you know what I'm saying? It's an individual basis. So.
All right. Well, one more question.
Ooh, I had something to say about
Okay.
that one. And this is... I do agree, it is very individual, but coming from a conservative background, one thing I really wish more guys my age, so early 20s, not married, single.
Like Kafia?
Yeah, like Kafia. It's our young adult group.
It's like coffee?
Would do is, besides just being really passionate and on fire for God before anything else, your sports and thirsty guys, is don't expect women to follow you simply because you're a guy. Especially I've had a couple times where I felt like a guy, peer my age, was expecting me to obey him like I was his wife. And I was like, dude, where's my ring? Like, I'm not under your authority.
That's right.
Like, bro, I'm not. If you want me to be respecting you like that, like, you need to earn it, or you need to ask me on a date and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But like, your gender is not
right. The Bible calls us to submit to one another. So
there's a difference.
Lois is in the back laughing.
Am I wrong?
No, girl, you got that. That's good.
All right, one more question. What's one of the biggest problems that need to be addressed more concerning women in the church? Is there anything that you think we don't talk about enough, or maybe at this point you feel like it's been brought to a head and it's being talked about enough? The inequality or the slighting that you feel towards women, or even just anything, I guess.
I'm going to say there's an overemphasis on authority and submission. Guys, that's not the end all meets all. Like, it's about Christ. It's not about authority and submission. It's about Christ. And I think that when we read things that have to do with authority and submission, we forget that it's not just order, but that it's representing Christ. And so I think there's an overemphasis on that. You know, they want to pick out certain Bible verses, a woman needs to be busy at home, and just leave it there and say, well, and then, and it's not. I just think there's an overemphasis on things like that, taking it out of context.
I agree.